Well, Toyota said they were going to take the car that is the Prius and turn it into the line of cars that will be called Prius. Let's see how they're doing as we drive the 2012 Prius V and check the tech. So what is a Prius V? Well, I think it's the Prius that most folks are going to end up buying, to be honest. You got a nice cargo box back here. The second row, as you can see, spacious. It's got a higher roof line here than a standard Prius. And by the time you get to the front row, it's basically standard Prius stuff. But all this brings you a vehicle that doesn't print minivan, although in honesty, it's really kind of a minivan. Just palatable as a car, but you look at it and say, I could do a lot more with that. Now, once you're back up here in the cockpit, things are relatively familiar. We've seen this Toyota head unit before. This is the fancy one with the bigger screen. You can see we've got the upgraded JBL audio, more speakers, and more importantly, better amplification. This sort of eyebrow display is one of the most advanced in the business. You've got your power and charge indicator, digital speedometer, and then, of course, various sorts of MPG and other indications. And, of course, this touchscreen can also default over to voice command, which is pretty good on these Toyota systems. The other way to control this head unit is via these rather elaborate controls on the steering wheel. You've got a pad over here for audio and one over here for a variety of display, trip computer, and HVAC settings. An interesting mix on the right. Bluetooth hands-free, of course, is on here, as well as Bluetooth streaming, aux jack, USB. Now, these cars come in different trim levels. 2 is the base for some reason. 3 is the middle car. That's the first one that includes N-Tune here under the apps button, and then under that app screen right there. This is a way to get one app on your phone that brings 5 apps to the screen. For the details on this, make sure you check out our complete tour of this innovative new interface on CNET TV. Just type in N-Tune. And the Level 3 car also brings in navigation based on a hard drive, and it also brings you satellite radio, HD radio, and HD radio iTunes tagging. Now you see we've got a nav screen here, a color screen. Not every Prius V has that. You got to step up to the top 2 trim levels for that, but they all have an LCD for controlling vehicle functions. And of course, there's the Level 5 car, which is the top. Yeah, I know, they skipped a couple numbers. That gets you this dual panoramic, but fixed glass roof. All it has are shades that move. And that Level 5 adds almost $3,000 to the Level 3 car. And then on top of that, we have an advanced technology package. That brings us the JBL high-end audio, a split-screen nav system with a bigger LCD, and all Prii go through this little dainty, goofy, little bejeweled knob right here. Reverse, neutral, drive. Brake is extra regen for the battery, and park is a separate button up here. Then you've got 3 drive mode buttons here. EV makes it run electric all the time as much as it can. Eco makes it do the least fuel consumption possible, and then Power moves it into the performance range, blending both sources for the best response under throttle. All right, now all Prius Vs, like all Prii, have this Toyota Hybrid Synergy drive motor powertrain combination. It's the big dog in the electrified car business. Now it's a 1.8-liter side saddle lean burn Atkinson Cycle 4 coupled with an electric motor. 134 horse, 105 foot-pounds of torque, then add 80 more horsepower from the electric motor and another 153 foot-pounds from that same motor for some good numbers. Well, okay numbers. It gets this 3,400-pound car up to 60 in about 10.5 seconds. Remember, it's trying to sip fuel. Now, those kind of numbers could move this vehicle more sharply, but it's not programmed that way. It's a Prius, after all. Instead, it biases toward MPG. 44 city, 40 highway, substantially lower than the smaller Prius, but of course, you're lugging a lot more around with this guy. All right, the Prius driving experience, as you can imagine, is very familiar in this vehicle, although I find the ride's a little nicer. I think it's got a couple hundred more pounds on the hoof, dampens things out. But all the noises it makes and the responsiveness you get are pure Prius. Visibility is really good, though, because you got a higher greenhouse, a little bigger notch in the back where you're looking at. It's just a little more pleasant car to drive all around. The other thing I note driving any Prius of the current model year is Toyota's done a really good job of handling these power modes and getting them to operate in ways, each one of them, that is kind of grown up and refined. They aren't too silly. They don't have herky-jerkiness to them when you're in the power mode or the EV mode. Everything kind of falls over very elegantly from one motor stage to another. They've done a very good job on this. Okay, here's the pricing on a Prius V, and here's how I'd play it. The base ride, the level 2 car, is $26,400. It's a little too Spartan, though. Go to the level 3, that rolls in Entune and some navigation. Now you got a great tech package without going broke. This guy's like $37, because it's a level 5, has all the tech. That's getting a little too steep for me.